Hello! I think I'll try something new by doing a vlog not on Thursday. The reason is, I'm learning a little bit recently about subversion of expectations, and I'll get back to that. But I want to tell you a story about going to a book launch. See, Victoria showed me that there was an event upcoming for a Bill Bryson book launch. He's launched a new book. It's called The Body, a guide for occupants, and so far from what I can tell, it's pretty fun. You know, as per his style. And she was lamenting to me that, well, her friends didn't want to go because they had prior engagements and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? No, let's go. She had been having a bad time, and I thought it would be fun for us to go as a kind of date too, because I wanted to, you know, keep our relationship fresh and go out and have some fun and do something unusual. So we bought tickets, and we were going to buy tickets for her family, but they bailed, which turned out to be nice because it was a nice little thing for us to both enjoy. We showed up at the venue a little bit early. There was a few people ahead of us, but not too many. And then she proceeded to tell me a story about her old boyfriend who went to one of these book signings with her and, you know, waited until, like, you know, an hour before they would have actually been inside to see the person who was Bruce Campbell and decided, you know what, I'm not that into this, I'm gonna go home right now. So Victoria was left to meet Bruce Campbell in person, alone, without her boyfriend. So when she did, Bruce asked, so, you know, here's this extra book, like, where's your boyfriend? This is for my boyfriend. Where's your boyfriend? And she told him, and he made a face. And may have called him a jerk, which was kind of funny. So when she told her boyfriend later, he was not pleased about that. And I instantly knew last night after she told that story that, you know, that's like the low bar that I've got to clear in this situation. Don't leave my wife to go enjoy this event on her own and get home on her own late at night in Toronto. That's a low bar. I think I can clear that. So we waited a while, and it wasn't too long actually. They opened pretty much on time. There was enough seating, we got a good seat, and overall it was really pleasant. And then Bill Bryson came on stage, and things got much better because he has a pretty entertaining writing style, but his presentation style is better. It's very conversational. It's like being with, you know, someone of his generation growing up in the 50s who makes a lot of jokes and tells a really good story. And it made me realize while he was presenting that my ability to tell a story, you know, I knew this already, but I've always told a crappy story. So yeah, and that might have a lot to do with who I am as a person. I'm a nerd. I go after the details. Sometimes I gloss over the intro and just jump straight to the details, and you know, don't tell a very interesting or convincing story. So that's something I feel like I got to work on. And you know, I didn't know what to expect when I went to this event. I just wanted to, you know, cheer Victoria up and go see someone whose work I had actually really enjoyed, because she introduced me to Bill Bryson's work, and I had enjoyed it. So my expectations were low. I expected, you know, maybe like a quick reading, but it was like a stand-up routine. It was great, and the whole room was laughing. And then I got to, you know, meet him and have my book signed after. So I had him sign my book as to your face. And he, of course, wondered about that, and I told him it's kind of like an honorific among my friends. So, you know, for example, if I knew you in person, I would call you Bill Face or Bryson Face, something like that. So he kind of chuckled at that. But the cool thing was, Victoria, she had gone before me actually, was asked what she did, and she told him that she's in the process of writing and getting published and stuff like that. And she had been feeling down about it for a little while now. And it's really discouraging when you're trying to get published because you get so many rejections, and sometimes you get not even personal rejections, just form rejections 6 months later. The editor's slush piles must be huge or something. And then sometimes you'll get rejections which say, you know what, I love your work, I don't know how to sell it, which almost sucks more. It's like, okay, so what do I do with that? So yeah, the summary of that is she had been feeling a little bit down about her writing and stuff like that and where she was going with it. And she met Bill Bryson, told him, well, you know, I'm writing, I'm trying to get published. And he gave her a little advice, which, you know, everyone kind of gives, but coming from someone she respects, it felt really good. And I overheard this and I was just like, oh, that's pretty sweet. The advice was basically perseverance, which, you know, probably heard a million times, but it feels a little bit better coming from someone you respect. And he wished her great success in her career, and she stood about a foot away from him, like smiling, when her picture was taken, because we were allowed to take a picture with him. And it was great. And then we talked a little bit afterwards about my thoughts about, you know, not being a great storyteller, and why, and like some of the stories she tells about me involving my storytelling skills or my ability to cut off other people's stories, because I kind of end people's sentences, and sometimes I'll end people's stories for them, which is not fun. I try not to do that, but I've always got that urge, because if I know where something's going, I'm just like, oh, I know where this is going, and I gotta like fight that urge to cut off other people's stories. But what I thought would be like just kind of like an okay thing ended up being a really fun evening, and I think that's the expectation of how this was going to go down, and the reality were a little bit different, and it was a surprising and happy difference. So that's my story for today. I hope that was a better story than usual, and I will work on that. Bye for now.